Hi everyone! So as you may have seen from the thumbnail and the title of this video, we'll be taking a look at the various mixes that Perylene Maroon could make. So today I'll be using White Nights, Venice Purple made with PR179, which is Perylene Maroon. So I don't have like a thing to show you because it's already in here. So last time I did this with Perylene Green and we took like half an hour. Hopefully I'll try to keep this within like 20 minutes or something. We'll see. I'll do my best. So just like last time, the paper I'm using is Baohong 100% cotton cold press, and I'll be using this palette to mix the colors. This is my upgraded Sonnet White Nights palette. I have a video, you could click down below for the link. And the colors I've chosen to mix today will be the usual, you know, your split primary, which is your, so I have here a cool red, warm yellow, cool yellow, and then I have a sap green and a phthalo green blue shade because I feel like that's quite common. Everyone has these colors. Again, this is sort of to show not exotic mixes, but sort of like if you don't have PR179 and you want to know like, is it worth buying? And usually people want to buy a new color and, you know, use it within their palette. So I'm trying to like go with the masses. And then I focused mainly on blues here with PB28. Oh, that's a cobalt turquoise, cobalt teal color. And then PB29 and PB60 because I have a feeling that it's gonna turn out beautiful. And then PB15, which is ultramarine violet. So let's just get straight into it. Oh yes, and the brush I'll be using is this one by Rosemary & Co. It's their golden synthetic. I believe they call this one their pointed golden synthetic. I'd say it's quite similar to Jackson's Icon Quill, and I really like it because it's a quill. I love quills. Okay, let's get started. So this Perylene Maroon, or this White Nights Venice Purple color, it's really like, I want to say for those of you who haven't seen it or haven't had it at all or haven't seen a swatch of it in person, it's really like a deep dark red, almost brown even. Like, if you see it in the right conditions, you might think it's a brown color. But it's that really dark red that's more muted than, like, I wouldn't say, people see this sometimes and then they're like, oh, it just looks like, you know, alizarin crimson. No, it doesn't. Alizarin crimson feels much more like cool, but this is more, I feel like it's more warm and muted towards brown instead. Okay, first up we have Quin Magenta. PR122. This will be the one we're using for a cool red. Again, the one I'm using today is White Nights, and I think they call theirs Quin Rose, even though it's PR122. Oh no, I forgot to draw a line. Now I'm so confused. Okay. I'll need to go back and draw it, but let's do the mix first. Because both of these are red, there's not much of a difference. Like, the mix isn't very drastic. It's just one way or the other. But I quite like the gradient, you know? That's sort of nice for blushes. Interesting. I don't draw faces, I don't paint portraits, but I think that would be really nice for, like, you know, cheek blushes. Alright, next up we have PR242 Geranium Red. And this one is like an orangey red for those of you who don't know this pigment. Similar to a PR255 It looks like, you know, vermilion. I think Sennelier has this pigment and they do call it vermilion. Oh, I think this is nice for sunsets. Yeah. Oh, I quite like that. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So, I had a bit of an emergency, but we're all okay. Everyone's okay. It's the next day and back to swatching. Okay, so as you can see, there's a bit of a drying shift here, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to edit it properly, so do go check out Denise's video on Perylene Maroon to see how, like, you know, she corrects the color from paper to screen very accurately, so do go check hers out. I'll try to link it down below if I remember to. Let's continue with the swatching. We have the yellows now. Okay, so like I said in the last video, the Quin Gold I'm using today is more of a Quin Gold hue. It's White Knight's Indian Gold. And I just wrote it Quin Gold for people to, like, you know, get the idea. This isn't supposed to be like, oh, this brand and this brand mixed together equals this sort of color, but more of a video of how, you know, just as an example of how Perylene Maroon or whatever the color I'm mixing with gives you an idea of what sort of colors it could mix. Oh. See if I could mix some more. Hey, I think that's pretty good. It's like this. You know what? It's just like Quin Gold, but when you add more of the brown. Does that make sense? Or, you know what? You could even use that for like skin tones. That's pretty neat. Okay, next up we have PY3, which is, I'm using this as like my lemon yellow option, a very cool yellow. Okay, here we go. I wonder if this is gonna be like odd. An odd mixture. I feel like this mix is one that I would never have thought to mix. Oh. What is that? What does that even look like? I think between the Quin Gold, like this warm yellow and this cool yellow, the mixes aren't far off, like there's not a big difference. And I think that's probably due to this PR179 being very brown leaning, you know? That's interesting that the temperature of the yellow doesn't really dictate or doesn't make the mixes any difference from each other. Okay, next up we have, okay, so I wrote sap green. The one I'm using today is Sonnet's or White Knight's PG8, which looks pretty similar to a sap green, don't you think? You see that? It's like a natural green. So for the purpose of this video, I thought it was pretty apt. Okay, I picked up a lot of pigment there, so that's why it looks a bit dark. Let's see what Perylene Maroon does to this. Oh, super Super brown? I want more pigment on there. Oh, you could get even like super dark browns or dark, like, what's this color? Like an army green? That's pretty cool. You get like sort of like dark burnt umber, or maybe even those like dark natural raw umbers. That's really nice. Oh, I could see you painting like, you know, some trees with this like Perylene maroon, and then the grass and foliage being this green, and then when you mix it together you get this sort of like various ranges of brown. Oh, that's so beautiful. Okay, next up, PG7 phthalo green. Oh, I wonder if this will be any different. I mean, of course it'll be different. This is more of a cool yellow. Sorry, cool green. But this will definitely match up because phthalos and perylenes are both very strong tinting. Ooh, look at that. Oh no, oh, so black. Do you guys see this? Do you see how black it's getting? Look at that. Oh my gosh. Whoa, I love that. Oh my goodness, guys. Okay, I want like a light wash here. I think I picked too much green, but well, you sort of get the idea. That's so cool. Okay, I think that is like, that's my favorite like neutral mix. I guess if you mix more red or more of the PR179, you could get like this really dark brown as well. But oh, look at that dark black. So beautiful. Okay, next up we have the blues. Okay, this PB28 is White Knight's Cobalt Turquoise, or it's a cobalt tealy color for those of you who prefer that name. The reason I keep saying cobalt teal is because I feel like when we all say cobalt teal, we think of this color, right? But if you say cobalt turquoise, sometimes we could think it's the darker PB36 color. You know what I mean? Okay. Now I'm gonna try not to touch the one up there. A little bit of a swatching mishap. Okay, let's see how this goes. Because this one's a bit opaque, I'm gonna try to use more pigment. Oh wow. Oh wow. That's such a beautiful like dusky gray. Oh my goodness, I love that. What the? Look at that gray. You guys. Oh my goodness, I love this one. Who would have known? Okay, gonna round that off. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry guys. My swatches are like, I have lines, but I'm not staying within the lines. I'm trying my best here. Okay, next up. Oh, I could see kind of like some granulation separation going on. We'll wait till it dries and then we'll come back and see. Okay, we have PB29 ultramarine blue. If cobalt teal makes it gray and green makes it almost black, what will blue make it? It's a red and a blue, so one of those ugly looking violets maybe? Let's see. Or are we gonna get like a really nice dark moody violet? Okay, so what I'm seeing right now is that you need to be careful with pigment ratio because the Perylene does overpower the ultramarine blue. So yes, oh, you get like this stormy gray blue for like cloudy skies. That's amazing. And then you get this like darker blue if you mix it with, oh, and you do get grays. Oh, that's a nice gray. Like a cool gray, and this is more of a warm gray. Oh, I love this. Who knew Perylene Maroon would be so nice in mixes? Okay, next up we have Indanthrene Blue, or some of you may know it as Indanthrone Blue, PB60. So with Perylene Maroon, I think because it's a very high tinting color, just like quinacridones and phthalos, if you're not mixing it with like, you know, stronger tinting colors like quins and phthalos, just be careful of the color and the pigment ratio when you're mixing, because it could be quite overpowering, like how you saw with the ultramarine blue mix. Oh wow. Yeah, I think this is quite similar, but you just get a really, like, a darker mix. Yeah. Beautiful. I think it neutralizes more, and you're able to get a deeper, darker mix with Indanthrone Blue. That's almost like a, oh, you know what? It's sort of like a Payne's gray color, or maybe even neutral tint. I don't know. I'm not very experienced with my like neutrals and grays, but that's like dark inky color. Whoa. Okay. I'm so amazed. Woo. All right, next up we have PV15, which is ultramarine violet. So this one is a very soft blue violet, and I'm going to need to be very careful with how much pigment I pick up for the Perylene Maroon. Otherwise it will overpower this mix very easily. Let's see. I'm just gonna take a dab, just a tiny bit. Oh wow. You know what I'm feeling? It's giving me like Potter's Pink vibes. Does that make sense? Like, okay, it's in no way near as close as Potter's Pink, but I feel like that almost looks like Potter's Pink. The granulation of the PV15 and the like red brown hue of the Perylene Maroon mixed together, it sort of looks like Potter's Pink. Like, whoa. Okay, I'm sorry, I feel like I might be over exaggerating too much, but I'm not. Like, I'm sincerely amazed at this Perylene Maroon and its like mixing potential. Oh wow. I'm so glad I chose this range of colors. Okay, we'll wait for it to dry, and then I'll come back to show you like the dried mixes. Oh, I have so many favorites in this one. All right, be right back, guys. All right, I'm back. So the swatches have completely dried, and I'm so amazed at how these mixes turned out. Okay, so let's look at them individually. Let's see. So the first thing I want to mention is, I guess I already mentioned this, but there is quite the drying shift with Perylene Maroon. So you do have to be careful, like if you want something to be darker than you think, use more pigment, or maybe you'll just have to layer it a few times. But the mixes are so gorgeous. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna zoom in. So with the reds and the yellows, I feel like there isn't much of a surprise because Perylene Maroon is already sort of like, you know, a reddish brownish color. So you're either going to, you know, sway one way or the other. It's not really like, you know, you're not mixing a new color here. Same with the yellows. And with the yellows particularly, they don't really make a difference after you mix them. They do look pretty much the same depending on whether you use a warm yellow or a cool yellow. I don't think it makes much of a difference. As for the greens, I'm quite surprised. So if you use more of a yellow green, then you do get more of like a brown color instead of a black or a neutralized color. But if you use more of like, you know, these cooler greens, you're gonna start seeing that it does neutralize it much better, and it starts getting more black and gray instead of a brown. So I think with like these two down here, you're starting to get like this is rather black. Oh, you know what? This could be sort of like a Perylene green color, you know, PBK 31. That's quite beautiful actually. Yeah, and then once you get to this sort of like look at that. Do you see that this one? The color separation is so beautiful. And I love this like misty grayness. I don't know, that's so beautiful. I really like that. And like what is happening? Like, what is that? That's so beautiful there. I really like that. Okay, and then to the blues. Personally, I prefer this mix with the Indanthrone blue because look at that dark inky color. Now on the screen it's really dark, but in real life it's sort of not as dark as on screen, but it still does look like that really dark black inky color. So I'm really happy with that. If you use the ultramarine blue mix, I think you might need to go over it a few times, or maybe just use more pigment between the two. And then last one is this purple, this well, ultramarine violet. Like, oh my goodness, look at that, the granulation shows through. Again, with this one you need to be really light-handed with the Perylene Maroon because the ultramarine violet is rather low tinting, but you could get really nice mixes. Wow. I think this mixture could also be used for like, you know, those cotton candy skies, and it sort of like creates this like lilac-y pink, like an ultramarine pink sort of. So beautiful. So to conclude, I think PR179 Perylene Maroon really shines in its mixes with like these greens and blues, and especially with strong tinting colors alike. But yeah, I think that's all for today's video. I'm actually really impressed with the mixing potential of this color. My favorite, I think, has to be this like cobalt teal mix, and probably, you know what, actually this one and this one and this one, because this is like so dusky looking and this is like so inky, and this is just like dark black here. I'm really happy with that. Which ones are your guys' favorite? As always, I'll be putting the scan of this right at the end, so do look out for that if that's what you're interested in. Well, I guess this was a long video again, so I do apologize for those of you who don't like long videos, and for those of you who do like long videos, thank you so much. And thank you all for watching. Don't forget to drink lots of water and stay hydrated.